Hello everyone, welcome to the Economic Channel. In this video, we're going to learn a bit more about the business world in terms of conglomeration. Last year, the French luxury group LVMH announced a plan to acquire Tiffany & Co. for $16.2 billion. This made LVMH the largest luxury brand. For her deal, LVMH initially offered to buy at $120 per share last October, but then the price was changed to $135 per share, which the total would be $16.2 billion. This acquisition made Tiffany the 79th brand on the LVMH group in its watches and jewelry division. Speaking of LVMH, maybe some of you will think that it equals to a famous brand, Louis Vuitton. In fact, LV is a brand under the mother group, which is LVMH Group. This group has many other brands, including Christian Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, you name it. And now, of course, the group has one more shining star, Tiffany & Co. Throughout the past decades, LVMH has been scaling up by conglomerate merger. This type of merger is neither horizontal nor vertical. It happens between companies that are involved in unrelated business activities. So why LVMH will spend $16.2 billion to buy Tiffany, which only recorded revenue of $4.44 billion, with $5.5 billion assessed in 2018? Why will the group acquire a company in a sector that it is not best familiar with? Let's take a look at the potential benefits that this business decision will bring to LVMH. Firstly, the acquisition allows LVMH to secure its position in the jewelry industry. Over the past decade, LVMH has paid a lot of effort in expanding its jewelry sector, which enjoyed a solid growth in sales. For instance, LVMH took over the Italian jewelry company, Bulgari, in 2011. Since then, the group's jewelry and watches sector performed very well, and even recorded a 37% of growth in profits in 2018. This jump ranked the first among all the 5 main divisions of the group. The booming reveals a huge room of development of jewelry, which gives a good incentive for LVMH to acquire Tiffany. The acquisition is believed to bring promising profit for the group in the coming years. Another rationale behind is that the acquisition can help expanding the customer base of LVMH to the millennials. Who do you think is the major buyers of LVMH Group's products? People in their 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? You've got 5 seconds to think about the question. Yes, you've got it right. Most of the LVMH buyers are in their 40s or 50s, and the customer base is rather narrow and fixed. As a leader in high-end product, LVMH undoubtedly would like to have a broader base of followers, which can help the group's development. For this reason, Tiffany is definitely a smart choice, as it has a very broad base of fans, starting from couples in their 20s and 30s. The acquisition can help LVMH to get more exposure among the younger customers, covering both youthful and mature men and women. And in long run, these customers are the potential customers of LVMH's high-end goods. Given the concern of customer loyalty, this move can help the group to accumulate more followers, and thus earning more profit. Meanwhile, the acquisition can help strengthening the group's position in the US market. Up till 2019, there were 1,453 stores in Asia and 829 in the US. Although the number of stores in Asia is far more than that in the US, the revenue brought by the Asian region accounted only for 30.1%, while that of the US was 23.5%. These figures show that the Asian markets have already been very well developed, and give an incentive to LVMH to look for better development in the US market, which has great potential for development. Being a US company based in Manhattan with 100 years of history, Tiffany & Co. would be a great choice for the group to acquire when it has already a very high reputation and fame among the Americans. from the above analysis, we can see that the acquisition does good to LVMH. But what about for Tiffany? What changes is expected to bring to the acquired company in a conglomerate deal? Frankly speaking, if you were the boss of Tiffany, even with such a lucrative amount of money, if the deal would crush everything you have built for the company, you would not accept it, right? The acquisition is believed to boost the operating margins of Tiffany. Take the case of Bulgari as example. Before the acquisition, Bulgari only had an operating margin of 8%. Under the management of LVMH, the company's sales have doubled, and the operating margins was boosted to 25% in 2019. To Tiffany, which has a similar background as Bulgari, of course the board wish the same magic will happen on the company. Thus, it is believed that Tiffany can sustain a long-term growth, reaching a new height after joining LVMH Group. So, let's go back to the price. Why would LVMH buy Tiffany with 16.2 billion? Is it overvalued or undervalued? How do companies value the potential benefits the merger brings? Here, we may learn a bit about the concept of WACC, Weighted Average Cost of Capital. It is the calculation of firms' cost of capital in which each category of capital is proportionately weighted. All sources of capital, including stocks, bonds, and any other long-term debt, are considered in the WACC calculation. WACC can be expressed as the following equation, and basically it is the percentage of equity financing times the cost of equity, plus the percentage of debt financing times cost of debt times 1 minus corporate tax rate. You may ask why for the latter part of the equation we have the 1 minus tax rate, but we don't have it for the former part. This is because debt financing offers something that equity financing does not, which the interest paid for debt is tax deductible. And actually, this acquisition between LVMH and Tiffany is also done via borrowing money from bank instead of raising money through stock issuing. According to our projection, which applied the method called discounted cash flow estimation, LVMH Group is expected to generate a total of 400 million euro in the next 5 years. The WACC of 4.73% reflecting the higher cost of equity currently, even though cost of debt is near zero in the negative interest rate era. And now, after the acquisition, the group is expected to generate 482.9 million euro in the following 5 years. You may have noticed there is a slight downward adjustment in terms of the WACC. This is because LVMH borrowed long-term debt from the European Central Bank in order to settle for the 16.2 billion acquisition cost in full. Thus, WACC is downward adjusted, reflecting the higher net debt position could alleviate the company's cost of capital marginally. So we can see that Tiffany is worth the deal, with payback expected to happen in the foreseeable future. This will make LVMH a stronger kingdom. Arnold will definitely thank you for buying the aforementioned brand name products, as the money you spend on all those brands will eventually go to his pocket. And this is the power of conglomerate. For a more local example, I believe you will think of the kingdom built by Ka-Shing Lee. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you are interested in any of the other topics in economics. See you!